Hey, everybody. This is American Nana. I hope you're all doing well. I have been just trying to get my thoughts together so that I make sense. I come on here and I just have fits about how I feel, and that's a huge part of me. However, I can stop and think and put things into words. I'm going to say right off that in my opinion, any motion that benefits the defense, if the Commonwealth is opposed to it, Beverly will go with the Commonwealth. I'm not sure who's pulling her string, but um, she never rules from the bench. So who is she having to call? She's the know-all of this case. She's been on it for how long now? She has every bit of information, every argument, all the motions. So, for her to wait forever to make any ruling, just I don't know. It's I'd like to know if she does that in other cases. Now, I do know that on the case that she judged, the woman whether she was guilty or not guilty on, um, taking her, ex-husband's life because he died of a heart attack. Which shows you that the Commonwealth would come up with the dumbest of charges. But she immediately ruled from the bench. Didn't even have to have a break after closing arguments. Had already made up her mind. No wait, just said she was ready to rule. So we know she's capable of that. The other thing that bothers me is in the Commonwealth's request for the gag order or the censored motions as they come out. It's stated so she, the judge, and the Commonwealth could check it before it goes public. The Commonwealth. I mean, like, they get to decide this crap? So there's a lot of things that bother me, but denying Mark Bederow pro hoc vice takes the cake. And I want to give you my opinions as to why. So this is just my opinion of Mark Bederow. From what I've seen of him on YouTube, from what I've heard about his cases, how he cares from the heart, I can understand why Beverly doesn't want him in there. Because after all, it's not about making sure Karen Reed has a fair trial. It's making sure the Commonwealth has a fair trial, which I've never heard of in all my time watching trials. I have never heard it say that the prosecution deserves a fair trial. The prosecution deserves this. The prosecution deserves that. It's always been the defendant. But if you live in Canton, Massachusetts, that's all brushed under the bridge. Nobody cares. Nobody even reports it. They just go on about their business and they report what they figure everybody wants to hear. I myself have absolutely no idea who these people have in their back pocket, but it's obvious that none of them have integrity, nor do they have the guts to stand up for the right thing. I myself am appalled at her ruling against Mark Bederow. So, through my eyes, for any of you that have heard that he was ruled not able to defend, be part of the defense team, and you don't know Mark Bederow, please allow me. These are my opinions, and I have done research. so I can bring you some of his wonderful accomplishments. See, Mark Bederow is a highly respected, accomplished criminal defense attorney with over 2 decades of legal experience, an advocate for justice, a man known for his sharp legal mind and unwavering integrity. And yet, despite his sterling reputation, Judge Beverly Cannone has now effectively questioned his capability and his credibility. Why? Because he dared to want to join Karen Reed's defense team. And he also represents Aidan Carney, I apologize, Aidan Carney, also known as Turtle Boy. He's a journalist. He's an investigative journalist. So, let's just get one thing clear. Mark Bederow is not just any attorney. He's a former Manhattan assistant district attorney turned criminal defense attorney in New York. Over the years, he's represented law enforcement officers, government officials, and everyday people in high stakes criminal cases. And he has consistently delivered favorable outcomes. And here's just a slight glimpse of his track record. He successfully defended a former FBI supervisory special agent accused of multiple murders tied to organized crime. The charges were dismissed mid trial after Bederow dismantled the prosecution's case. No wonder Beverly nor the Commonwealth want to see Mark Bederow standing in her courtroom for Karen Reed. He secured an acquittal for a Florida landscaper who accidentally brought a loaded firearm into New York City, a case that was resolved in less than 30 minutes of jury deliberation. He also represented Ronald Bozeman, a 64-year-old man who was wrongly incarcerated for over a year on armed robbery charges. In December 2012, all charges against Bozeman were dismissed and he was released from custody. Bozeman's attorney, Mark Bederow, played a pivotal role in uncovering the inconsistencies and advocating for Bozeman's release. This case underscored the critical importance of diligent legal representation and the need for accountability within the justice system. He even defended an opera singer accused of assaulting a doctor in Manhattan and once again secured an acquittal. And I know that recently it was the wife of, I believe, the duck sauce murder. And that one touched his heart. You could tell when he talked about it. I think they all touch his heart. He's a very compassionate attorney, very caring, very serious about justice. And here are just a few things that were said about him from people that he represented. I cannot express how comfortable Mark made my son and I feel after initially speaking with him. We had searched and interviewed several attorneys regarding my son's unique situation. All the attorneys we interviewed said we didn't have a strong appeal case and should be thankful my son only received 3.5 year sentence. We knew the case the Queen's Day built against my son was based on lies and deception, but no one would listen to us until we finally contacted Mark Bederow. Mark not only listened, but believed us and immediately pointed out everything wrong with the prosecution's case. He gave us hope and validated our concerns. We didn't hesitate to hire him. Mark is fully dedicated, extremely passionate, and knowledgeable about the law and its process. Mark kept us informed of developments and explained in detail what was happening in the case, what to expect, and his strategy. He will leave no leaf unturned and will make sure you understand the process. I am forever grateful for his commitment and his passion for the truth and justice. There's another one. He's the only lawyer I've ever met that actually listens to his clients. We have dealt with many lawyers in the past several years, and 99% of them want the most amount of money to do the least amount of work. Mark Bederow is not your typical lawyer. He's the only lawyer I've ever met that actually listens to his client's suggestion, utilizes their input, and if he doesn't, he explains why. I've never met a lawyer as intelligent, passionate about winning, and completely in his client's corner. Mark Bederow is brilliant. He's a champion of justice. His love for the law is evident as he relentlessly fights for his clients. He is definitely the best criminal lawyer in New York City and quite possibly New York State. So, he's a man who wins cases because of his skill, his honesty, and his passion for defending the innocent. But now, Judge Cannoni, the same judge who has continuously ruled in favor of the prosecution in Karen Reed's case, has declared that Mark Bederow cannot join her defense team. Huh. Why? Well, because he also represents Aiden Kearney, better known as Turtle Boy, in a separate but could be related legal matter. Judge Cannoni claims there could be a conflict of interest if Bederow represents both Reed and Kearney, despite Bederow's expertise in navigating such situations ethically and within the confines of the law. So think about that for a minute. So a judge who is supposed to be impartial is essentially suggesting that Mark Bederow, one of the most capable and ethical attorneys in the country, lacks the integrity to ethically represent two clients with overlapping interests. This is completely baseless. Mark Bederow has built his career on practicing law with integrity and strict adherence to ethical boundaries. He is more than capable of separating the two cases and following all professional standards. There's absolutely no reason to question his ability or credibility. You see, this isn't about a conflict of interest. This is about control. This is about keeping the defense team from becoming too powerful, too knowledgeable, and too well equipped to expose the truth. Mark Bederow, with his brilliant legal mind, would truly have been an asset for Karen Reed. The problem is Judge Cannoni and the Commonwealth along with Brennan, also know this. I mean, Karen Reed already has an excellent defense team, but the Commonwealth does not want such a distinguished and highly skilled attorney like Mark Bederow involved in her case. The fact that they are blocking him from joining only makes it more clear that they are doing everything possible to prevent Karen Reed from getting the strongest defense she can. This isn't about ethics or conflicts. This is about stopping the truth from coming out. You see, what's happening to Karen Reed? It's not justice, it's corruption. And now, by blocking Mark Bederow from joining her defense team, Judge Cannoni has made it crystal clear that she will do whatever it takes to control this case and the narrative. I think we've all seen that by her rulings on the motions, her rulings and her oh my gosh, she just got so upset when Brennan lied about someone on the defense team. And she's still mad about it. She's still mad. Didn't really listen to reason, which if you ask me, with everything that has happened, with all the horrible things the Commonwealth has done, she decides to get herself in a tizzy over one thing. So I think it's about time that everybody or anybody, you need to pass this. This story needs to be bigger and bigger and bigger. It's bigger than just Karen Reed. This is a story about corruption in a small town named Canton. See, we see you, Judge Cannoni, and we see what you're doing, and all we want is the truth exposed. All we want is the truth to come out. So you see, Karen Reed truly is factually innocent. She really is innocent. And they're trying to persecute her. They're not trying to prosecute her. They're trying to persecute her. And the rulings that Beverly makes are also that the Commonwealth has a fair shot of railroading her to have her found guilty. And the fact that you're doing it for the entire world to see, I actually have no words for that. I really don't. I just am flabbergasted. So it is, I'm not the best at video making. I'm not the best, but I wanted to do something. I always want to do something to help, and obviously I live in another state, have no clue how to be of use to anybody or if I could, but I pray and I just have faith that something is going to happen that's going to blow this whole thing wide open. It's going to set Karen Reed free. I hope it allows her to own the town of Canton. And I hope that the judicial system catches up with the rest of the United States because what's happening in Canton, Massachusetts needs to be called out. Uh, these are only my opinions. I'm not a specialist in anything. I'm just a nana. I've been on this earth almost 7 decades, and this breaks my heart that she's going through this. And for those of you that wonder, I my heart breaks obviously for Officer John O'Keefe's family. His father looks like he's absolutely broken, and it's so hard to watch him because you can see his pain. It's just so obvious. His niece and nephew that Karen helped him with, she came to love, that she won't ever get to speak to again. I mean, I look at it and say, wow, the last person in their life was taken from them. But they still had Karen. She was in her life and they had a relationship, but that was destroyed. Not because of Karen. I I find it very odd that all of these things can keep happening and nobody's coming forward. I mean, everybody knows that a taillight did not jump out and attack Officer John O'Keefe. And we know from there was a gentleman that just did a video the other day to show how hard it is to break one of those. And I've been looking and looking, and I'm still researching. I'm still looking at. I mean, I just can't quit. As if I'm going to one day find the aha, here it is. But you know what? You never know. You never know. None of us ever know who may be able to come up with something that really, really would be beneficial to her case. So I spend a lot of time looking, listening, going over things. I have to take notes though because I forget stuff. So I don't want to misquote. I'm not going to really go into all of that. I was sitting here thinking, about the holes in his shirt that they say the taillight piece is punctured. I just didn't know that they would fly into someone's arm s- and then just back out somehow. All those little round holes, something just flew in and it even though it went deep into the skin, it still came back out. Oh, there wasn't any red taillight pieces in those holes. But I was so outraged at her decision that Mark Bederow could not join the team. But you know what? In my gut, I think I saw it coming. And now I'm convinced that anything she can deny, she's going to deny unless it helps the Commonwealth. I've never seen anything like this to cripple the defense so bad in hopes to get a conviction. So, for those of you that care about integrity and care about reputation, I think it needs to be said over and over. I think people need to make a stand and tell them or tell for anyone that's watching these videos that that doesn't I don't know Mark Bederow. I've never met him. I watch and numerous channels, but rarely have time to chat because usually I have an earbud in and I'm chasing my 3-year-old granddaughter or dealing with the 7-year-old grandson or the 10-year-old granddaughter who thinks she's, grown already. So, um, Mark Bederow has integrity. If he didn't feel he could represent both Karen and Aiden, then he wouldn't have asked to represent Karen. But when you're corrupt and that's how you think, then your eyes become clouded because you've forgotten that the rest of the world, they don't act like you. I mean, yeah, you have some. You have a lot of corrupt people, but there's a lot of good people with integrity, honesty, like Mark, like Karen. And I don't even know why you sit on that bench wearing that black robe. I don't think you should be able to sit on that bench and wear that black robe. I think that you're a disgrace to the justice system. And I think I have the right to say that because I have the right to form my opinions by watching your behavior. So I hope you all have a good night. Pray for Karen, Turtle Boy. This is ridiculous that they're having to go through this. And quite frankly, I mean, I know that Turtle Boy, he's different. He's different. For somebody my age, he's pretty gruff, but he's good at what he does, and he's great at investigating and proving things wrong or proving them right. So let's just have faith and remember Mark Bederow. He has a reputation Beverly would never in her entire life have had. I'm amazed with the scum that she used to represent that she is being this way with Karen Reed, an innocent woman. But I'm just a Nana. You guys have a great day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you soon. I've got a lot more coming, a lot of digging. Have a good night. Goodbye, everybody. Hope you have a great day. Be kind. It's really easy to choose to be a kind, nice human. Just be a nice human. It's not hard. Not really. Even you with black hearts can start every day. You could do a little good somehow, some way until eventually you come back to the reality of what it means to be a good human. Bye.